There is a U.S. military unit so secret that even when it conducts missions overseas, the government often refuses to confirm it exists. In 2011, when U.S. forces killed Osama bin Laden, the world learned the name of the unit responsible within hours. But that same year, another American Tier 1 unit conducted operations just as sensitive, and most people never heard about them. No press conference, no official announcement, no acknowledgement. That unit was the 1st Special Forces Operational Detachment Delta, commonly known as Delta Force. Officially, the Army rarely even says the name, so here's the real question. Why would the United States openly celebrate some special operations, while keeping others permanently in the dark? The answer involves law, politics, intelligence networks, interagency rivalry, and strategic deniability at the highest level of government. The name was designed to obscure. Even the official designation sounds bureaucratic. 1st Special Forces Operational Detachment Delta. That wasn't accidental. When the unit was activated in 1977 at Fort Bragg, the name was intentionally administrative. It blended into Army paperwork. It didn't signal National Counterterrorism Strike Force. Its founder, Charles Beckwith, understood something from his time with Britain's Special Air Service. Elite counter-terror units are most effective when they are not publicly defined. The less an adversary knows about your manpower, your structure, your tactics, your trigger authority, the harder it is to defend against you. Secrecy wasn't an afterthought. It was foundational doctrine. April 1980. Operation Eagle Claw. The failed attempt to rescue hostages from Tehran was broadcast worldwide. Images of burned aircraft in the Iranian desert humiliated the Carter administration. 8 American servicemen were killed.
Frontline, Iran. 5 years ago, it was a national nightmare.
Ours is not a country that responds.
After Eagle Claw, U.S. policymakers concluded that highly sensitive special operations could not survive public exposure before or during execution. The failure wasn't just tactical, it was political. From that point forward, secrecy became institutional armor. The legal framework nobody talks about. Here's where it gets interesting. Delta Force operations often fall under Title 10 U.S. Code, military authority. But some missions intersect with Title 50 authorities, intelligence operations. That boundary is sensitive. Why? Because Title 50 operations can involve covert action, missions the U.S. government can legally deny. When military units support intelligence-led operations, public disclosure becomes legally and diplomatically complicated. If a raid occurs in a country where Congress hasn't declared war, the host nation hasn't publicly consented, intelligence assets are embedded, then acknowledging the unit involved may burn human sources, expose foreign cooperation, trigger international backlash. Secrecy protects more than soldiers. It protects statecraft. The intelligence web. Delta does not operate in isolation. It is deeply integrated into intelligence pipelines. During post-9/11 operations in Iraq, JSOC task forces built what some analysts called an industrial-scale counter-terror machine. Night raids, signals interception, human informants, biometric databases. If you reveal too much about targeting methods, surveillance platforms, capture to interrogation pipelines. Adversaries adapt, and they adapt quickly. Terror networks study public reporting. They analyze tactics. They evolve communication patterns. Silence slows enemy evolution. Culture of internal silence. Unlike some other special operations communities, Delta has historically maintained an extremely closed internal culture. No official social media presence, no public recruiting campaigns, no sanctioned memoir culture for decades. Why? Because the unit's effectiveness depends on operator anonymity, family protection, reduced public visibility. Operators are less likely to be targeted if their affiliation is unknown. Additionally, silence prevents myth inflation. Elite units can become politically symbolic. Delta's leadership historically avoided becoming a brand. Branding invites scrutiny. Scrutiny invites oversight battles. Oversight invites restriction. Silence preserves operational freedom. Strategic deniability in practice. Consider modern counter-terrorism missions in unstable regions. If the U.S. government acknowledges a Delta raid inside a politically sensitive country, it may embarrass that government, undermine diplomatic negotiations, fuel insurgent propaganda. But if no official confirmation is issued, governments retain flexibility. Sometimes the power of a nation lies not in declaring strength, but in leaving adversaries uncertain. Ambiguity creates psychological pressure. Was it Delta? Was it a partner force? Was it intelligence-led? Uncertainty complicates retaliation.
We're facing near-peer adversaries, so we gotta keep in account that they have basically...
The post-9/11 shadow expansion. After 9/11, JSOC's operational tempo increased dramatically. Reports indicate thousands of targeted raids conducted across Iraq and Afghanistan. Yet most Americans could not name the unit executing them. That wasn't oversight. It was deliberate compartmentalization. Publicly visible operations, like the Bin Laden raid, served political messaging needs. Other missions did not. Visibility is selectively applied. Here's the deeper truth. Delta Force remains invisible because invisibility is operational leverage. It allows strategic surprise, political flexibility, intelligence continuity, reduced public constraint. In modern warfare, information travels faster than bullets, and sometimes the most powerful force in the room is the one no one can see clearly. Delta Force doesn't advertise. It doesn't perform. It operates. And in a world where exposure equals vulnerability, silence is strength.